Hello, I'm Maciej Mikos and you're watching News in Depth. Russia is using US-made Starlink satellite system to extend the reach of Moscow's drones. Now, is this happening by Elon Musk's approval? And will Russian constant attacks on Ukraine's civilian infrastructure eventually break the spirits of its defenders? Well, to talk about it and more, we're joined by Michał Broniatowski, TVP World's editor-in-chief. Hello, Michał. Hi. Now, do you believe that Elon Musk, the creator, the owner of Starlink, he's in fact aware of the fact that that Russians exploit his technology to strike the Ukrainian civilian infrastructure?
It would be strange to think that he may not know. This is a huge operation, and of course we cannot prove it, but of course, well, in my view, even if he doesn't, it's compromising heavily because he's supporting the aggressor against Ukrainians.
Well, if Russians are simply stealing, his technology, you can't really blame him.
Well, but they may have tons of this technology, but they can be switched off very easily on this particular, on a particular territory, or even case by case. You have to log in. So you just block login, and that's it.
Right. So he can, well, not him, but his technicians can see, right, where such a Starlink system is activated. Therefore, they can just switch it off. Well, he's not doing it. Why?
I think this is part of American policy of treating the two sides equally. President Trump, since the very beginning at his second stay at the White House, is treating Russians the same way, Ukrainians the same way he treats Russians. So both sides are responsible for the war, and both sides have to agree between themselves how to stop it. And if Ukraine is not prepared to agree for concessions to the aggressor, then it's Ukrainians' problem, Ukrainians' fault.
I see. Now, the other problem here is that we, Polish taxpayers, we are paying for the Starlinks over Ukraine, for the Ukrainian army.
Well, this is another proof that you can switch it very easily, because if Poland didn't pay for that, for subscription, it would be switched off. So somebody is paying for this subscription over Russia territory and or occupied territories of Ukraine by Russia. So no way it's secret for him.
Right. But Michał, here's the following question. If it's so easily accessible by Russians, I'm talking about Starlinks, shouldn't we look for an alternative? I remember there was a talk about a Eutelsat system, right?
Yes, but it's, there's nothing comparable to the Starlink system as yet. But so Europe, of course, may talk about it, about replacing, but it cannot do it at the moment, not because it cannot afford, because probably Europe would be able to afford, but simply because it doesn't have the system. The more we get into the problem that everything which is in cosmos around us, GPS and then things like that, depend on American technology and American management, is mainly and appear to be a threat for our security. So Europe has to build this equipment of its own, and I think it's doable.
Well, so far we are indeed hostages of Elon Musk's technology. At least it seems so. Polish Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski claims that Well, he posted a tweet which says, "Hey, big man Elon Musk, why don't you stop the Russians from using Starlinks to target Ukrainian cities? Making money on war crimes may damage your brand." Do you think that's the case?
I fully agree with Minister Sikorski. It's not the first case of him discussing on platform X the issues of Starlink and other issues of war in Ukraine. And Minister Sikorski is absolutely right in mocking Elon Musk, but it appears now that not only Starlink is doing things like that, but also there is a big discovery now pointing to the fact that a major American companies,
Ubiquity,
yes, is supplying equipment to create networks in the area, in the war area, which help providing support to drones. And so if this is really the case, and Americans are using some, simply sending them illegally to Russia, this would be a problem, should be a problem for this company in particular, but also to the U.S. government, because this equipment is so-called dual use. Mm-hmm. For civilian and war purposes, and this sort of exports is absolutely banned.
Right, but if the journalists know about it, because it came out because of this journalistic investigation, right, then I'm absolutely certain that the US military is aware of the fact, and they are not doing anything about it. Well, we already agree that that Starlinks can be used as a means of pressure on Ukraine. Do you think that with the Ubiquity equipment, it's the same thing?
Well, this is part of Russian military equipment, supports Russian military effort in Ukraine, and obviously it's I don't know if it is a crime, war crime, but at least it's support for the aggressor.
Right. Now, the Starlink-equipped drones, they were responsible for successful Russian attacks against HIMARS air defense systems, and eventually that led to a very dire humanitarian situation in many Ukrainian cities. Now people are deprived of water, of electricity, of heating. One of our guests, Rostislav Chotyń, commented on the matter. Let's listen for a while.
Russia wants to Ukrainians not having electricity, water, heat, Starlink, internet. Russia wants to break the spirit of Ukrainian nation now. Especially it's coincide with peace talks. Russia wants Ukrainian population to be broken. Russia wants Ukrainians to want to have peace at any price, any peace. Just give us a peace now. President Zelensky, stop this kind of war against Russia, Russian aggression, and so on and so on, so forth. Russia wants to break Ukrainian spirit and wants Ukrainian population to put pressure on Ukrainian leadership to sign any deal, just not just peace, not a fair peace, but any deal.
Michał, the trilateral talks are to resume this Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. Trilateral talks, of course, between Russia, Ukraine and the US. Do you think that at this point of time, given the humanitarian situation which we discussed a moment ago, Ukrainians are indeed ready to accept any sort of a peace deal?
I don't think so. This is what Mr. Putin would like to achieve, and this is why he's attacking openly civilian targets. He cannot deny that these terrorist attacks on buildings, on installations, heating installation, and so. Quite recently, an attack on passenger train. He's trying to defeat morale of Ukrainian people, and he won't succeed in this. Well, I don't know why he's doing it. He knows that it's impossible because he knows that his people would be also, the more pressure, the more resilient they would be. And but this appears a bit illogical because while his representatives are sitting at the table to discuss peace, he's increasing military pressure on Ukraine on unprecedented scale so far. Hundreds of drones and then dozens of missiles are attacking Ukraine, and at the same time to expect that he has a goodwill when engaging in some talks with the US and Ukraine. I doubt it. I doubt this goodwill. I think it's a game to achieve Ukrainian surrender, but it won't take place.
Well, President Trump believes in Vladimir Putin's goodwill for whatever reason, but that's what he repeats, what he has repeated many times over. But Russia may soon be forced to revise its position, its global position, because maybe it will lose yet another ally after Venezuela. I'm talking about Iran. And now this big, beautiful flotilla, this, yes, that's armada, that's the word Donald Trump used, is heading now to Iran. Do you think that Americans will attack the Ayatollah's regime?
We don't know how prepared is President Trump to attack them, but it may well happen. They managed to almost without any defense on the side of Iran. They managed to bomb targets in Iran a few months ago to destroy the nuclear facilities. So he can do it again, and I assume that he may be counting on some weakness of the Ayatollah's regime because of this few weeks long protests, which were brutally smashed. I don't know if smashed, but at least attacked by the regime. And he may be thinking that even if people are not out in the streets anymore, it doesn't mean that their feelings have changed, and that the regime is not as strong as it used to be. And this may be one of the ways of exerting pressure on Tehran.
Right. Let's listen to Donald Trump himself, because maybe we can draw some conclusions from what he said.
And in June, we obliterated Iran's nuclear capacity in Operation Midnight Hammer. You saw that. People have been waiting for 22 years to do that, and we were right at the end. They were about a month away from having a nuclear weapon. We had to do it. And by the way, there's another beautiful armada floating beautifully toward Iran right now. So we'll see. I hope they make a deal. I hope they make a deal. They should have made a deal the first time.
I hope they make a deal, Donald Trump says. What sort of deal is he talking about?
You tell me. But I think the deal is for Iran to renounce any attempts to build nuclear weapons. Remember the previous agreement, this six-party agreement with Iran to stop producing nuclear weapons was only for 10 years. 10 years are over. It's a very short time in politics, and Iran is still very close to get these weapons. So if they finally and definitely renounce any attempt to build a bomb, it would be a great success. But we'll see what happens.
Right. Now, as I said in the beginning of this section of our show, that Russia may soon revise its geopolitical position because it's losing its allies. Now, what would it mean for Russia to lose an ally in Iran?
Well, they have almost lost it already because they were not able to help when America and Israel attacked their nuclear installations. They lost Syria without helping. They lost Venezuela without helping. You know, there was not even a political support to.
Oh, by the way, you know that the new Syrian president has been quoted by Vladimir Putin lately because Russia wants to have a strong foothold in Syria and it wants its military bases to be fully functional there.
Well, they abandoned their base, the port, the only port they had in the Mediterranean. So if Trump attacks Iran and Putin does nothing to protect it, and he won't because he cannot, it'll be another brick taken from this wall of Russian protection to the world against the rotting West, and all the goals that made Mr. Putin to start the war in Ukraine are not being fulfilled, and then it shows a total misconception of this war.
And in the end, it may bring the peace closer, hopefully.
In the Middle East?
Well, no.
Probably yes, because
I'm talking about the consequences of what happens in the Middle East, in Ukraine, right?
Iran is just a part of problems of Mr. Putin. He's in a more dire situation strategically because his border with NATO increased by 1,000 kilometers. I'm talking about the border with Finland, a new member of NATO, and he is also, his economy is in a very difficult situation because of war effort and because, of course, sanctions. So we'll see. But Iran is a part of this kaleidoscope of reasons for us to hope that he will finally have to surrender.
Michał Broniatowski, TVP World's editor-in-chief, was our guest this afternoon. Thank you very much, Michał.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching and stay with us for more interviews here on TVP World.